Hi everyone, welcome to the Crafty Pixie YouTube channel. I'm Bee. Thank you so much for stopping by. Today in this tutorial we're going to be making the cutest mouse pin cushion. Now I don't use pins very often, I'm more of a clips kind of girl, but you need them every once in a while. So I was on Pinterest as usual and I found a post from years ago. And it was the cutest thing. And I read through it and everything, so I will have a link in the description box below for it, just so that you have it, and you also have the template for it. It's great. I absolutely love it. They're the cutest things. I mean, come on. This is the fabric that I showed you in the fabric haul where I said I was going to do a mouse pin cushion. I did it a whole lot earlier than I originally wanted to because I just really wanted one. I've made 3. I love them. So, it's got the cute little whiskers and the eyes, and then you can put a little tail on it if you want to, but it's great. It's the perfect size. It sits really nicely. I made a few changes just because it's me. But, I put like a stabilizer on the bottom so it lays a bit flatter. And I actually put little sequins in the eyes instead of just beads. I love them. They're just the cutest things. And what's really nice is they're a really nice size. So you can actually make little stuffies if you want to. I mean, if you have someone that loves mice, the cutest thing ever. Very easy to make, super beginner friendly. It's great. It has a little bit of curve, so it helps you if you're just starting out with the curves or you need a little bit more practice. But it's really, really easy. I'll take you step by step. Made a few changes, like I did a little bit something different with the ears. But other than that, it's a great little project. Please stay tuned. I hope you enjoy it. And don't forget, whether you're new or old to this channel, thank you so much for stopping by. If you're new, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below and hit the notification bell so you know when I upload every Wednesday at 9 a.m. Eastern. Also, leave a comment in the comment section down below. I love to hear from you. And make sure you give this video a thumbs up. So without any further ado, let's get to materials and get started. For this video, you are going to need to print the pattern pieces from the description box below. She tells you that you have to print it at 300%. You do. It is possible. I did it. If I am able to get it to attach so that you guys can pull it up, I will definitely do that for you. It took me a minute to figure it out, but I got it. So with that pattern piece, you're going to need 1 piece of cotton fabric for the base. I also did a piece of SF101 to go on the base. It just makes it a little bit flatter. So it doesn't roll as much, so it kind of sits nicely. And then you're going to need 2, 1 of each side. The head. Now for the ears, you can use felt like she did in the written tutorial. I didn't have any felt when I first made this, so what I did was I cut out 2 pieces for the ears and then sewed them together and turned them right side out, and I actually like that better. So that's the way I'm going to show you today. You're also going to need a needle and thread, little beads for the eyes. You can also do a French knot if you want. And then I also, just to make it a little bit more fancy, I also have these little like sequins for the eyes as well. And then you're also going to need some extra thread for the whiskers and the tail. And then of course you're gonna need clips and scissors and a sewing machine. So let's get started. Okay, first things first is we're going to adhere the SF101 to the base cotton piece. So you're going to take it and lay the soft side down, so the bumpy side's facing up, and you're going to lay the cotton on top of it. And then you're going to press it. Alright, just like that. Make sure it sticks, and we're good. Okay, we're going to put that to the side, and then we're going to grab the set of ears. The set of ears. And what I do is I take them and I'm going to go over to the sewing machine. I'm going to back stitch really well at the beginning of the end, and I'm going to do a 1/4 inch seam allowance right along the edge on both of them, so that you're going to lay them so that the right sides of the fabric are facing together. I'm going to go to the sewing machine and I'm going to do that, and we'll be right back. Okay, now that that's done, I like to take my pinking shears and just come around the edges so that when I turn it right side out, it curves nicer. So you're going to do it to the outer edges of both ears, just like that. Just like that. And then you're going to take them and you're going to fold them right sides out. Just be gentle, you don't rip your seams. Roll the seams out so it kind of curves for you. And there you go. You get one ear ready to go. And do it to the other one. Alright, there you go. That was done. Super cute already. Alright, next we're going to take our face pattern piece, and you should have made little marks at the pattern piece to see where the ears go. So what we're going to do now is on the right side of the fabric, you're going to line up the ear. Doesn't have to be inside the notches, that's fine. And then we're going to clip them. Okay, and then you're going to take it over to the sewing machine and you're just going to baste down the ear so that it stays to the pattern piece for when we attach it to the body of the mouse. So I'm going to go over to the sewing machine and I'm going to do that. I'm just going to do a 1/8 inch seam allowance, very, very small, just so that it stays in place. I'll be right back. Okay, now that that's done, we're going to put that to the side. And then we're going to grab our two body pieces. Now when you look at the pattern piece for the body piece, you definitely have a more pronounced curve. That's going to be the top of the pincushion. So what we're going to do is we're going to line up the very pronounced curves together, right sides facing. Okay. Now, when you're looking at this, you're going to go, this isn't going to fit. This isn't going to work. Wait a minute. It'll work, I promise. It's because it's rounded. That's all. So we're going to take it and we're going to clip right along this edge. You're going to backstitch really well at the beginning and at the end. You're going to do a 1/4 inch seam allowance with a 2.5 millimeter stitch length. And I also forgot to mention, when you do this, you're going to need something to stuff this with. I'm using like the polyfill for like stuffed animals and things like that. You can use dry wool, so it sharpens your needles every time you put it in or not. I don't seem to have an issue with using the polyfill. My needles are still pretty sharp, so, but I don't use mine as much as some other people may. So, like I said, we're going to take this over to the sewing machine. You're going to backstitch really well at the beginning and at the end. 1/4 inch seam allowance, 2.5 millimeter stitch length. I'm going to do that and I'll be right back. All right, now you should have something that looks like this. I went ahead and I used my pinking shears and just did right around the edges. Next, we're going to come through and we're going to pin the head where we did the 2 ears to the body. You're going to want to fold this in half and then just make a little pinch line there so you kind of know. If you want, you can mark it with a marking pen. And then we're going to take right sides together, open this up, take right sides together, and the middle line that you just made is going to go right on that middle seam, just like that. And then you're going to clip, and what you can do is you can actually fold this seam allowance to one side. You're going to clip it, and then you're going to come and you're going to clip, line up the edge and clip. It's just a little bit of maneuvering. It's not too bad. This isn't too bad when you're either don't like curves or you're getting used to curves. This isn't a bad project to do. And then just make sure you line the edges up. Come on. The more clips and pins you have, the better it's going to be. Biggest thing is just go slow. If it crinkles a little bit, it's not a big deal. And then you're going to do the same thing over here. All right, and then you're going to take this over to the sewing machine and you're going to stitch 1/4 inch seam allowance, 2.5 millimeter stitch length. You're going to back stitch really well over the beginning and the end of your stitches. Okay, I'm going to go do that and I'll be right back. All right, now that that's done, we're just going to fold it right side out. And there's the top half of your mouse pincushion. It's got its cute little ears and its face. Oh, it's so cute. I love this project. And you don't have to have these as pincushions either. You can make them stuffies for kids, or you know, anything like that. All right, so next, what we're going to do, this is going to be kind of hard to show you. I'm going to try. We're going to attach the eyes. You're going to want to kind of find your center point mid on your face, and you're going to pull your needle and thread through. And you can do a French knot here if you want. I'm using a bead with a sequin because I think it's super, super cute. But you're gonna come through, and I've laced the sequin. And then the bead, and then you're just gonna go through the whole of the sequin and straight through the bottom. So that gives you one eye. So cute. And then come over and of course tie the back. And then do the same thing for the other one. Okay, this next step you can do if you want. I mean, you don't have to, but I like to put little whiskers on it. It makes it look more mouse-like. So basically you just want to find like the center of the nose. And pull your string through. Just like that. And then come back down. Pretty close to the same hole that you just made. And then however long you want your whiskers, leave the fold out. Make mine a little shorter. Then you're gonna come back through very close to that hole that you just made. I know it's really hard to see. Let me see. Close to that hole you just made. Holding your thread so it doesn't move, and then you're going to come back down right in like that. All right, so that's one set of whiskers, and then you're going to come over to right next to it, and you're going to do the same thing for the other side. Like I said, there's no such thing as perfect, and this mouse is just too cute not to make it. Gonna do about that long. Okay. Then you're gonna do the same thing for the other side. All right, and then when you go to the back, you're just gonna make your knot. And cut it off. For the tail, you can use a piece of twine and then just attach it right to the back seam right here, up a little bit, of course. Or you can take several strands of thread and then tie them together and attach it that way. I'm not going to put a tail on this one. All right. All right, so the next step, you're going to turn this so it's wrong side out. Okay. Then you're going to take your bottom piece, and your bottom piece has like a pointed edge. It's going to match the nose of your mouse. So what we're going to do is we're going to fit the mouse piece on top. Just like so. All right, and you're gonna clip it because it's the center. Make sure when you're doing it that you're pushing those whiskers out of the way. You're gonna pin. And then you're gonna find the back and pin. This isn't going to line up perfectly. When you pin, make sure that you pin this seam the same way you did this side. So my seam's pointing this way, so I'm gonna do this seam allowance pointing this way. Same direction. So you're gonna clip, okay? Then you're gonna clip about halfway through. Like I said, this is not going to look like it fits, but it will, because you're gonna move things around a little bit. So there's that. Now you're gonna also want to determine a place that you're gonna leave open so that when you turn it, you know, so you can turn it right side out and where you can put the stuffing into. So I'm probably gonna do it about right here. I like to leave, I don't know, an inch or so opening. Lots of clips here will be your friend. You want to make this as smooth as possible. And then you're just going to continue to sew all the way around. What I like to do is I like my mouse ears to be sticking up a little bit straighter. So I'm going to take this seam allowance where the mouse ears are attached, and I'm going to fold it back towards the back of the mouse. And I'm going to clip, and then you're just going to clip all the way around. Making it as even as you can with as little wrinkles as possible. Same thing over here on this side. I'm going to push that seam back. Now, like right here, you're going to have a little pucker here. So I just want to smooth it out as best you can. Let me do this side. Hold on. Even it out as much as possible. Like I said, if you have a little bitty pucker, it's okay. These things are not meant to be perfect. I think I got it as smooth as I'm going to. All right, so then we're gonna go over to the sewing machine and we're going to sew all the way around, leaving your opening. So you're gonna back stitch really well at the beginning and the end of the stitches. You're gonna stitch at a 2.5 millimeter stitch length with a 1/4 of an inch seam allowance. I'm gonna go to the sewing machine and I will be right back. All right, when you're done, you're gonna have something that looks like this. And then you're gonna find your opening and we're just going to pull everything through. Take your time, don't rip any of the stitches or anything. Oh, there's an eye. All right, it's gonna be a little bit tougher because you've got that interfacing in there. And then once that's done, just fold all of the pieces out. Just like that. Roll the edges. You can iron this if you want to, if it turns out super, super wrinkled. I haven't had too much bad luck with that, so I'm good there. I'm just gonna roll it out. Okay, there's the body to your mouse. So cute. Okay, next, you're gonna stuff it. Okay, so we're gonna come through and you're gonna stuff it through the same hole that you pulled everything out of. So like I said, you can use the polyfill, you can use walnut shells, you can use steel wool, whatever you would like. I don't mind. I don't use my pins like super great deal, so I'm okay with using the polyfill. Plus the polyfill kind of has a coarse texture, so it's not too bad. And you're gonna literally fill this till you think you cannot fill it anymore. Okay, just keep on filling. All right, now when you get it stuffed to your liking, we're gonna take this corner and we're gonna fold it in. You might have to push the stuffing in a little bit more. Fold it in. Like so. Or if it cooperates with you. This fabric was some scrap fabric, and the person I'm making this for likes flowers and bright colors, but this is just, it's being really stubborn. Okay, maybe. So you can take this, you can blind stitch it, you can seam stitch it, you can come over to the sewing machine and top stitch it if you want to. Whatever you prefer. For this one, I'm just gonna seam stitch it real fast. All right, so there's that. Okay. All right, and then you can also clip your circle, and you've got your little whiskers. Sometimes it takes them a minute to kind of flow out. But there you go. All right, so I'm gonna blind stitch this now. Not blind stitch it, seam stitch it. So basically you just take needle and coordinating thread. All right, sorry about that. I lost my needle. Okay, so basically when I seam stitch or stem stitch, I just come over here to the beginning and I hide my knot in the beginning of my thread in the underneath of the fabric. Just like that. And then I just come through and make teeny tiny stitches. I try not to get too much of the fabric in. I want to do it like right at the edge. Just got my needle all messed up. And then you just continue, you go across. Okay. All right, so I'm gonna finish this up and I'll be right back. And you are done. Isn't this the cutest thing? I love it so much. Remember, I do have the link to the written instructions in the description below, but you are done. Voila! Congratulations, another cute little project done. Great for the holidays, great for birthdays, anything like that. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you are notified when I upload every Wednesday at 9 a.m. And don't forget to leave a comment in the comment section down below and give this video a thumbs up. Until next time, see ya!